Good afternoon, listeners and viewers at home. You're welcome to another edition of Sunday Tonic. Today is Sunday, the 10th of May. Today, we shall be discussing the factors that can limit the potentials in you and within your reach. The factors that can limit your potentials. We spoke about unlocking the hidden potentials within you and within your reach in the last two editions of our Sunday Tonic. That is Sunday, the 26th of April and Sunday, the 3rd of May. You can see videos of this on Facebook page of our church, CAC WOSEM Mount Victory. We use the story of the widow in 2 Kings chapter 4 from verse 1 to 7 to illustrate how we see the potential within us and within our reach as nothing and insignificant. However, we concluded and challenged ourselves to open our eyes to the things that we think are nothing, which when connected purposefully can reveal the big miracles we've been expecting. Today, we shall be discussing the factors that can limit you from manifesting those potentials within you. The most important factor we shall be discussing today is you. The most important factor that can stop you is you. Before we discuss that, let us quickly remind ourselves the definition of potentials, just in case we have some new viewers joining us today. The definition of potential. Potential is what you can do, but you haven't done yet. It's who you really are, but no one knows it yet. It is your dormant ability, unused success within you, your unleashed talent, your untapped resources, your hidden strength, your capped capacity, the gift God deposited in you, the inherent capability in you. It's all you can do, but you haven't done. That is potential. The most important factor that can stop you is you. The first one we shall be discussing now. When you limit yourself, you can't limit yourself, and that will stop you from fulfilling your potential. The way you see yourself is so important. The image of yourself you have for yourself. The image you see yourself is very, very important. It can create a reality that is completely different to your true identity. Let us examine the Israelites in the Bible in Numbers chapter 13, verse 33. Numbers chapter 13, verse 33. We actually can start from chapter 1, Numbers chapter 13, from verse 1 to the end, but I'll just stick to the last verse. Before we read that verse, let me explain a bit what happened in that chapter. The Lord spoke to Moses and told Moses to send men that they should go and search the land of Canaan, which he, the Lord, had given to the children of Israel. He had given them the land already. Remember how he brought them out of the land of Egypt? He told them he's taking them to a promised land, the land of Canaan flowing with milk and honey. They've overcome they fought so many wars and they overcame all the battles on the way. The first one they even defeated was the Egyptians. They destroyed all the Egyptians in the Red Sea. The Lord did that for them and took them across the Red Sea on hot, and all the Egyptian Pharaoh and his horsemen perished. And that was why they kept winning battles on the way. Amalekite, the Moabite, everything they destroyed on their way. Now they're just at the eve of getting into their breakthrough. Just at the edge of Canaan. They sent spies to go and look at the land. 12 spies were sent. And this was the report they brought in verse 33. Numbers chapter 13, verse 33. I read. And there we saw the giants, the sons of Anak, which come of the giants, and we were in our sight as grasshoppers, so we were in their sight. This is a very strong theological statement as well as a psychological statement. They saw themselves as grasshoppers in front of the inhabitants of the land of Canaan. They saw those ones as giants. And they did not just say they saw themselves as grasshoppers, but they said, listen carefully how they said it. So we were in their sight. They saw themselves with the mirror of their enemies. They said that they were like grasshoppers in the sight of their enemies, and they accepted that. They limited themselves. Remember, God himself had given the land of Canaan to the Israelites. Chapter 13, verse 2 said, I have given the land. He said, the land of Canaan, which I have given to the Israelites. Just send your men to go and search this land. However, they came back with a self-image that limited their potential as the children of the Most High God. They did not limit the size of God. They never said God was small, but they shrank their own size. They said they couldn't do it. And because they said it, they died in the wilderness. The judgment of God was upon them in chapter 14. God said to them, because they said this, everyone that was 20 years and above that came with this evil report will not enter the Canaan land. Because they said they were like grasshoppers before the giants. They could not take the land. But two people among those 12 spies, Caleb and Joshua, brought a different report. Chapter 14, verse 6, between verse 6 and 8. Joshua, the son of Nun, and Caleb, the son of Jephunneh, which were of them that searched the land. They rent their clothes and they spoke unto all the company of Israel. The land which we passed through to search is a land that is an exceedingly good land. If the Lord delight in us, then he will bring us unto this land and give it to us, a land which flow with milk and honey. Caleb and Joshua saw it with a different mirror. They saw it with the mirror of what God has said concerning that land, that the land was flowing with milk and honey. But those other 10, they brought evil report and said they were like grasshoppers. Do not forget, because they limited, said they didn't enter that, they did not enter that promised land. Why do you see yourself in the eyes of your enemies? That's the question. They said in their own sight and in the sight of those giants, they were like grasshoppers. If God has brought you challenges that are big, remember that God has deposited in you something bigger to surmount the challenge. If God gives you this situation that is big in front of you, then he has already put inside of you what to do to overcome it. Caleb and Joshua had a different image, and they said the land is surmountable, it is flowing with milk and honey. And to the glory of God, among everyone that was 20 years and above, only Caleb and Joshua saw the promised land, got into that Canaan, because they saw it and they can achieve it. They didn't limit themselves. These 10 people and those that believed in their reports, 20 years and above, all of them perished in the desert. Remember, David was faced with a giant as well called Goliath, the champion of the Philistine army. In 1 Samuel chapter 17, verse 44 to 46, I will read 1 Samuel chapter 17, verse 44, and I'll read verse 46. But before I read these two verses, I'll tell you a little bit about the whole story. Goliath was a giant, the head of the Philistines army. He was harassing the Israelites for day and night for 30 days. Kept coming out, bring somebody that can fight me. If you cannot bring somebody that can fight me, I will take over you. I'll take over you and your possessions. I will win you. You know, he kept harassing them. And David was just on the battlefront by chance. His dad sent him to go and give food to his brothers that had gone to the war front for the last month and were not back and they couldn't fight the war anyway. Eliab and the others. So David went to the war front as a young boy to go and give his food to his brothers. But when he got there, he heard the ranting and the chanting of this Goliath, shouting and screaming at the Israelites that, have you seen anyone that can come surely that can come up to fight me? And he was talking, and the champion was making all that noise and was making remarks about the God of the army of Israel, about the armies of Israel, you know. And he was boasting and was ranging curses with his own God, you know. And he kept saying, who can fight this Philistine? And Saul was asking, who can fight this Philistine? Who can? Nobody could. So David quickly took up the challenge. He saw the whole thing as an opportunity, isn't it? So he said in verse 44, he said he was going to fight the man. To cut a long story short, David offered to fight this giant called Goliath on behalf of the Israelites, on behalf of the Israeli army. So verse 44, the Philistine said to David, come to me, and I will give thy flesh unto the fowls of the air and to the beasts of the field. That was what Goliath said. That was what the enemy said. But David did not see himself as somebody whose head will be given to the fowl of the air. He was not seeing himself in the mirror of this enemy. He was not seeing himself by the definition of this enemy. So David replied, he said, this day, in verse 46, this day, the Lord will deliver thee, you this enemy, into my hand, and I will smite thee, and I will take thy head from thee, and I will give the carcass of the host of the Philistines this day to the fowls of the air, and to the wild beasts of the earth, and all the earth will know that there is a God in Israel. He told the enemy, it is your own head that will be given to the birds of the air, not mine. He said this, and that was exactly what happened. David defeated Goliath. The way David was faced with this giant, and he did not limit himself. He knows the ability God has given in him as an Israelite to defeat this Philistine. The same way those two spies were faced with those Goliaths, they went to spy their land in Canaan, and they came with an evil report, and they said they are like grasshoppers before the giants, the people, the children of Anak. Because they said that, they limited themselves and they were defeated. They died in the desert. They didn't get to the Canaan land. David was faced with a great giant called Goliath, and he defeated. David gave himself the image of a conqueror. He saw the challenge as an opportunity. He conquered the Goliath. You see, he conquered that Goliath. Another the second factor I will talk briefly about that can limit your potential is when you do not take opportunity that comes your way. When you do not take opportunity, your inability to take your chance on opportunity will limit your potential in you. Let me ask another question. How does God bring out greatness in you? All the seed of greatness that is in you, the seed of greatness that you came to the world with, is your inherent ability. It's already in you. That's your potential. It's already in you. It is your purpose. That is why you were created. That gift is the reason why you came to this world, to come and manifest it. It's already in you. But how will God bring it out? How does God bring this thing out sometimes? It usually comes through opportunity, through crisis or problems. God brings out greatness in you, usually through opportunity, through crisis or problems. There's an old English saying that goes thus: necessity is the mother of invention. When you're faced with a necessity, there's a need to solve a particular problem, you'll see your inner mind will start reinvent ideas quickly. Yes. Let us say great men are those who seize opportunity in the middle of crisis. Let us look at the life of the greatest Briton of all time. His name is Winston Churchill. He's been voted by millions on BBC poll as the greatest Briton of all time. He was voted even ahead of Shakespeare and ahead of Newton. He is the greatest Briton of all time, Winston Churchill. How? Before 1940, before the Second World War, his reputation was precarious. His political past was littered with disastrous errors and dangerous confrontations, such as during the General Strike. But suddenly, in 1940, he became the great war leader. He saw an opportunity. That Second World War became an opportunity for him, and he took his chance. The man became a great war leader, the man who gave Britain the strength to stand alone against Hitler. He rose up to save his country in 1940. As a defender of a declining British Empire. At that time, the reality on ground of that time was that the power of the empire was slipping away, but he gave Britain the illusion of a continued world power status. This takes us to what God says about time and opportunity and chance, which is in Ecclesiastes chapter 9, verse 11. Mr. Churchill was in the parliament at that time, but he took opportunity of that crisis, that problem that came up in 1940 with Hitler. He said Britain could, he gave an oration. He said Britain could do it. He gave them the will, he led the war, and he became a war leader, he became a prime minister, and he became the greatest Briton that ever lived. He's still the greatest Briton of all time, Winston Churchill, because he took up that. He did not miss his chance. He took the opportunity of that Second World War. Let's go to Ecclesiastes chapter 9. Ecclesiastes chapter 9, verse 11. That's what God says about opportunity. All things come, Ecclesiastes chapter 9, verse 11. I returned and I saw under the sun that the race is not to the swift, nor the battle to the strong, neither bread to the wise, nor yet riches to the men of understanding, nor yet favor to men of skill or learned men. But time and chance happened to them all. But time and chance. Those who are great today, it's not because they were favored better than you. It's not because they're stronger than you. It's not because they're learned. A lot of professors still die without fulfilling anything, without fulfilling their purpose. Yes. A lot of PhD holders were buried without exhibiting why they came to the world. It is not because they're learned. It is because time and chance happened to them all. When the time of opportunity came, they took the chance. When their time of opportunity came, they took the chance. That is where we just read from that 1 Samuel in chapter 17 about David. David took a chance. He got to the war front. Let us see verse 26. He got to the war front and heard about the ranting of this man, this Philistine man, that was saying that I defy the armies of Israel this day to give me a man that may fight against me together, that we can fight together, you know. And David just saw that for all the armies of Israel, even Saul, one of the tallest men there, he couldn't face Goliath. And David, a young boy, A young boy, a shepherd boy, who just came to deliver food, made this statement, verse 26. David spake to the men that stood by him, saying, what shall be done to the man that killeth this Philistine, and taketh away the reproach from Israel? For who is this uncircumcised Philistine that he should defy the armies of the living God? He said, what can be done to the man that killed this Philistine? He saw an opportunity in it, and he was already bargaining for his prize. If who can kill this one, what will be given, what will be done to him? He saw an opportunity to be blessed quickly, and he was told, whoever kills this, they told him the prize that they will give to him. He said the person will marry the daughter of Saul, the king's daughter, and that was his first. Taking this opportunity to kill Goliath was his first ladder to the throne. He was able to enter the palace of Saul. He married Saul's daughter. He moved to that palace, isn't it? He lived there. And Saul was sending him wherever he wanted to. He saw an opportunity. The women saw me. They started singing about his praise after he killed Goliath. That is his first opportunity to fame. He saw an opportunity in that crisis. It was a crisis. Nobody could fight Goliath. He saw an opportunity in it. Your inability to take your opportunity will limit your potential. If David did not take this chance, the ability to kill Goliath, the ability of a warrior in him would have died dormant, would have remained latent in him, but he activated it. You understand? So this is what we're saying today. The thing that can limit you is your image. You can limit yourself by the image you put on yourself. If you see the challenge and it's insurmountable, like the Israelites did in Numbers chapter 13, then it is insurmountable. But if you see it as something that you can move in and step in because with God you can do all things, then you will win it. Just like Joshua and Caleb. They saw those challenges. They said, no, the land is still flowing with milk and honey. We can conquer it. Do not limit yourself. Do not limit yourself. Do not undermine the greatness in you. Do not undermine your greatness. Don't limit yourself. You are the most important factor that can limit your own potential. And two, inability to take opportunities. Take your chance. Don't take your chance when the opportunity comes your way. Please do take your chance. The third one, briefly, I'll just highlight and then we'll continue next week, is do not see yourself through the mirror of your past mistake or your past failures. If you see yourself in the mirror, if you limit yourself by seeing yourself in the mirror of your past failure, you will limit your opportunity, you will limit your potentials. You will not be able to take your chance. Do not see yourself with the mirror of your enemy. When whatever people say about you, when they say, oh, there's no greatness in you, you're not great after all, do not see yourself by their definition. Always remember that people's acceptance is not always a blessing, and their rejection is not a curse either. Everybody's acceptance is not a blessing, and everybody's rejection is not a curse. Sometimes the people rejecting you is just a reflection of themselves. They've rejected their own self as a victor. So it is a reflection of them they're putting on you. So do not accept it. Make up your own mind. You can do it. Get focused, get motivated, follow your passion. Your passion, your motivation, your focus, steadfast. You do not limit yourself anymore. We'll be ending here today as we take these prayer points. Just take this simple prayer point for yourself. Father Lord, as from today, may I not limit myself. May I be able to take the opportunities that comes my way that will bring out the greatness in me. For instance, in Lagos now, people saw opportunity in producing masks. The 20 million people are resident, over 20 million are resident in Lagos State. When they eased the lockdown last Monday, it was eased. Some people who, although they were locked down at home, they saw an opportunity in this crisis of lockdown, stay at home, and this COVID-19 crisis. They started making face masks. On the first day of the ease of lockdown, there were millions of the face masks unsold, being sold on the street of Lagos. Someone has decided to turn his financial crisis to blessings. He saw this crisis and he saw an opportunity in it. However, there are some big fashion stores in that Lagos, some big fashion institutes that are completely locked down because they say it is lockdown period. And meanwhile, some people with just simple sewing machine in their houses, not big people, right in their houses where they're locked in, they saw opportunity to produce something and to make a living out of it. They've changed their financial fortune. They've changed their status, you know. Father, Lord, open my eye to see opportunity in crisis. Do not let me limit myself anymore. Do not allow my children to limit themselves by with a self-image that limits them. But may they see opportunity and take it. Shall we pray? As you take that prayer point, the Lord will bless you. Same time next week, I remain Dr. Ronke Adegbulugbe from Christ Apostolic Church, WOSEM Mount of Victory, Ripple Road, Backing, 121 to 125 Ripple Road in Backing, Christ Apostolic Church, WOSEM. God bless you.
Glory be to God in heaven. The Christ Apostolic Church, WOSEM, CAC WOSEM Backing Branch invites you to Uplifting Prayer Services, a series of wonderful monthly prayer meetings aimed at transforming your life for good. On every last day of each month, between 7:30 p.m. and 8:30 p.m. is powerful revival prayer meeting tagged Oluwa Olorun Koseunti. Oluwa Olorun Koseunti. Yes, the Lord God that never fails. Of course, He won't fail you. So come to Him with all your burdens on the last day of every month and meet with Oluwa Olorun Koseunti. While our monthly night vigil service comes up every third Friday of every month, tagged Àkókò Ìṣẹ́gun. Àkókò Ìṣẹ́gun, hour of victory. Àkókò Ìṣẹ́gun lórí májẹ̀mú òkùnkùn. Àkókò Ìṣẹ́gun lórí ogun ìpínlẹ̀ ìdílé àti àwọn ogun tí ń bá ní jà, tí ń bá ní fira. Your victory is here at last. You are also invited to be part of our Sunday family worship service every Sunday. Time 12:30 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. Ministering Dr. Ronke Adegbulugbe, host minister, and other anointed ministers of God. Pastor Paul Obadari, General Overseer CAC WOSEM, personally wants you to come and experience the power of God that can never fail you. With Oluwa Olorun Koseunti in your life, you are bound to receive healing, deliverance, salvation, breakthrough, and of course divine settlement as you wishes. Venue, the Ripple Center, number 121 to 125 Ripple Road, Backing, London IG 117FN. The Ripple Center is opposite Lido and is just 7 minutes walk from Backing Station. Buses 287, 387, 368, 687 and bus 62 or EL1 and EL2 will take you there. For more information or one-on-one prayer requests, please telephone 07986 767 604. That is 07986 767 604, or send us an email at cacwosemlondon01@gmail.com. Please connect with us on our social media platforms. Join our live stream prayer service every week via Zoom and Facebook Live. Our Zoom ID is 82457726 That is 82457726 Facebook handle CAC WOSEM Mount Victory. YouTube CAC WOSEM London Backing. We look forward to a great fellowship with you as your miracle awaits you in Jesus' mighty name.